Hi there, my name is Rome Johnson. This is the first video I am ever uploading to YouTube, and it's a response to a video by the YouTube user Mr.Repzion called Faking Being Gay is Trendy. His video was a response to the new TV show on MTV called Faking It, and Mr. Repzion, I'm going to just speak directly to you. This is sort of a response to you. First off, you mentioned that you think gay people would be very offended by this show. And so I do want to say that I am a lesbian, and I'm not offended by this show. And the other points I'm going to make about your video and about the show will explain why. For those of you watching this video who do not know what the TV show is about, the basic concept is that two teenage girls are mistaken for a lesbian couple, and then that proceeds to build into a sort of tidal wave effect that leads to their school attempting to elect them homecoming queens. And at first they attempt to tell people that they're not really lesbians, but nobody believes them. They think they're just ashamed of their sexuality and they're just lying about it and they're in the closet. So after a while they kind of just give up and decide to go with it. Now, Mr. Repzion, you said that one of the reasons you find this show offensive is because the girls are faking their sexuality. And I was definitely on the fence about that concept whenever I first saw the trailer for the show, but I decided to give it a chance. And the thing is that these girls did not come up with this idea themselves. They did not sit there and say, what's the best way to increase our popularity? Let's pretend we're a couple. The girls are best friends. They've been best friends for a very long time. They have a almost couple-y type of attitude, the kind of way that happens when you've been best friends with a person for a very long time. And it is actually a third party, a gay male student, who mistakes them for lesbians and then decides that he wants lesbian friends. So he essentially tells them, you're gay, and if you say you're not, you're liars. So, you know, it's not this devious plot that they come up with. It's more like something they're thrown into, and then they sort of take advantage of the opportunity, which is not a good thing, I'll admit. But it is something that you have to understand. They didn't do this in a malicious sort of way. It's just that they're teenage characters, and they're very flawed. Characters on a TV show without flaws are boring. So these characters are very, very flawed, and it is a satire. It's not a drama. It's, you know, not some kind of teenage drama that's supposed to be just so emotional and so real. It's a comedy. It is supposed to be about the awkward things that teenagers do to try and gain popularity. And you'll also notice, if you watch a few episodes of the show, that it snowballs and blows up in their face so quickly. You also mentioned in your video that it was important to you to see in shows that have gay high school characters that it shows them the controversy that comes with being gay, that you show, you know, the bullying and the confusion that comes along with that. And actually the show does portray that. In the second episode of the show, Homecoming Out, one of the girls is actually blackmailed by her stepsister because she comes from a conservative family, and her stepsister tells her that she's going to tell their parents that they're gay. And the stepsister knows she's faking it. She completely knows that, and she's going to tell anyways. And whenever her mother eventually finds out that she's being elected homecoming queen because she's in a lesbian couple, it's actually kind of a tidal wave, and it does lead to a lot of tension in her family. And then also, the thing you need to understand about the school is that it's not the kind of school where people get bullied. It's supposed to be portrayed as a very liberal school, which is very different, and something I actually kind of like, as opposed to other MTV and teenage show schools. Because you see a lot of schools portrayed on TV now where bullying is just such a big issue. And that's because in reality, bullying is a big issue. But at the same time, you need to understand that this show, they wouldn't do this if they thought they were going to get bullied for it, because where's the popularity in that? So they do this with the intent of becoming popular because that's the way their school is. You also mentioned not liking the fact that these girls are sexualized because they're girls and had been two guys. The thing you need to understand is that this TV show in this school, actually, yes, the gay guy is the most popular guy in school. And had it been two gay men, then they probably could have gained the same amount of popularity at that particular school in that particular setting. But because the show is supposed to be about two best friends who are not actually a couple, then it would be a bit more difficult to do with two male characters. And also, the goals of a male character aren't always the same as the goals of a female character. Also, you mentioned that this show is endorsing faking your sexuality. Portrayal is not endorsement. If I show you a movie that is all about gang activity, where somebody joins a gang and starts selling drugs and killing people and beating people up and things like that, and they don't get arrested and they don't get in trouble for it, and the show is all about their emotional issues being part of a gang, that is not me endorsing you to go out and join a gang and say live this amazing, glamorous, dramatic life of being a gangbanger. That's just me saying, look at this one situation that could possibly happen, and that's the same thing that this TV show is doing. It is a comedy saying, wouldn't it be funny if two people did this? And there are so many issues that do come along with this, even though they are not being bullied or harassed. There are issues that come along with them faking their sexuality. There's issues of the girl that thinks she's going to get more guys by being a lesbian actually is now supposedly a cheater by everybody else's eyes because she's hooking up with guys while being with a girl. And, you know, other things like that. And it's all supposed to be satire. It's not supposed to say, hey, go out and fake your sexuality. It's supposed to say, look at the mistakes these people are making. Isn't it funny to laugh at other people's misfortunes and bad decisions? Which is pretty much all that MTV is about, is people making bad choices. 16 and Pregnant doesn't endorse that you get pregnant at the age of 16. Faking it similarly does not suggest that you should fake your sexuality to gain popularity. And then also your final issue was the fact that both of these girls are straight and faking being straight, and faking being lesbians. One of the girls is actually struggling with her sexuality. You discover very quickly that, in the trailer there's a brunette girl and a blonde girl. You discover the blonde girl is actually, very confused about her sexuality because she really does have feelings for this girl, for her best friend. And that is something that she struggles with because she's the one that comes from the conservative family. So, for her, this is actually a bigger deal than her friend knows it is. And that's one of the things that creates as much emotion as it does in the show, is the fact that she is struggling. So, while I understand all of your points that you made about the show, I do believe that, I'm not suggesting you give it a second chance because it is MTV, it's not brilliant humor, but at the same time I do feel like you blew it a little bit out of proportion. And, you know, if a person is looking for a silly little laugh, then it's not actually a bad show, to be honest. It's teenage comedy. And you do need to understand that a show like this can actually be beneficial for the gay community. Because we see on a lot of TV shows nowadays depictions of gay kids getting bullied, and gay people getting bashed, and gay people getting harassed. And what that has become is a fuel for bullies and for harassers. to say, well, if you don't want to get bullied and harassed, don't be gay. Because you see on TV that people get bullied and harassed for being gay, so why would you want to be? So the idea here is to show what happens, essentially, whenever that is not an issue. You know, I was out in high school, from sophomore year onwards, and I never faced any major bullying or harassment. And, you know, I was just a normal teenager who happened to be a lesbian. And there's kind of a fear tactic going on right now in the world whenever it comes to gay people. You see a lot of things about people getting bullied and harassed and bashed and even killed or killing themselves, and that leads to so much fear for gay people. So I think it's a good thing that there's a show out there saying you can be gay and that can be a good thing. You can be accepted even though you're gay. Is this necessarily the best vessel for that? Maybe not. But I would much rather see two people, one who's straight and one who's questioning, living a happy lesbian life, even if it's fake, and having their issues be with the fact that they lied, rather than actual gay people having issues because they're gay. It's overdone, and it's creating fear in the entire teen gay community. So that was just my little message to you, Mr.Repzion. I hope you don't take this as me trying to say that you're bad at what you do, because I'm actually a huge fan, and I do love your videos, and I would love to get some kind of response for you on what you think of this. So thank you very much, and thank you everybody else for watching.